Good morning, friends. Greetings and welcome to The Bright Side, your nutritional program dedicated to the understanding of the vast world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. I am your host, Pharmacist Ben, nutritional pharmacist from Boulder, Colorado. I use nutritional supplements where other healthcare practitioners use toxic pharmaceutical drugs and sometimes deadly medical procedures. If you suspect that there are natural nutritional roads to your health and vitality and well-being and to addressing your health challenges, whatever they may be, but you don't know where to begin, you have come to the right place. As you listen to The Bright Side every day, you are more and more in control of your body. You are more and more knowledgeable, and you know you can overcome any health challenge. That is why we are here every day on The Bright Side, helping clear up the sometimes confusing world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. Over the last 30 years of practicing pharmacy, I have seen drug-free recoveries from diabetes and hypertension and obesity and skin diseases like acne, psoriasis, rosacea, digestive ailments, autoimmune issues of all kinds, recoveries that by the standards of modern medicine can only be called a miracle, but what is in the world of the body, what is in the world of biology, standard operating procedure. Because the human biological system is a healing system, it's a regenerating system. It is designed divinely to heal and renew itself on a moment-to-moment basis. And while some folks may call that healing, renewing, regenerating system a miracle, it really is just the way the body works. If you have questions about health or nutrition or prescription drugs, if you want help with the longevity products, or if you have a problem patient or friend or relative or loved one or workmate who needs some help, we're here for you on The Bright Side. Our number 844-236-6010. We welcome your phone calls. If you have a success story you'd like to share, we love hearing those. And if you just want to contribute to the conversation, 844-236-6010 is our phone number. We've got a guest coming on in the bottom of the hour, Abby Lay from primephysique.com. I believe that's the name of her website, primephysique.com. She's going to be talking about eczema. That's her specialty. Primephysiquenutrition.com. primephysiquenutrition.com. Abby's a young gal, holistic nutritionist who created a blog for sufferers of eczema. She healed herself of eczema. We're going to be talking about eczema as well as nutrition. We'll talk about nutrition for eczema at the bottom of the hour with Abby Lay. We'll take your calls in our second segment, 844-236-6010. Is our number today on The Bright Side, today and every day on The Bright Side. If you're in the Arizona area, I will be doing several talks, several presentations for my friend Melissa Galladay. In the Phoenix area, Monday, October 10th, will be at 3641 North 56th Street at the Prince of Peace Church. That's 3641 North 56th Street. 56th Street in Phoenix, zip 85018. Tuesday, October 11th, we'll be at Superstition FMD station number 264. I'm not sure what that is. Superstition FMD station number 264, and that's at 7557 US 60 in Gold Canyon, Arizona, zip 85118. And then Wednesday, we'll be in Palo Verde, or in Sun City West, actually, Sun City West, Arizona, at the Sun City West Foundation, 14465 West R.H. Johnson Boulevard. Please call Rebecca Kozak at 480-842-1888. These are all free lectures. Rebecca Kozak can give you more information at 480-842-1888. If you want to purchase any of our Truth Skin Health products, including our Truth 5% Retinol Gel, Truth Serum, Truth Balm, Truth Omega-6 Healing Cream, if you're dealing with eczema, accelerated aging, dark spots, if you want to heal from trauma or some kind of abrasion or wound, check out our Truth Skin Health products at truthtreatments.com, truthtreatments.com. Okay, we'll get your calls here in our second segment at 844-236-6010. I want to continue talking about NAG, all as it has to do with the ketogenic diet and fiber, dietary fiber being a major food category that should be leveraged and taken advantage of if you're going to go ketogenic, if you're going to go high fat. If you're going to utilize the ketogenic diet, the best anti-seizure, performance-enhancing, bodybuilding, weight loss inducing, Alzheimer's disease preventing, you name it. Really, you name the benefit, you're going to get it. You name the health benefit, and you're going to get it from the ketogenic diet. It's a calm you down diet is basically how it works. It calms the body down. It gives the body energy without it having to utilize sugar, and that's always going to be in our interest. As you know, if you listen to this program for any length of time or listen to any of my presentations, sugar is most definitely the bad guy. After a tiny little bit of sugar, you can consider sugar to be a toxin, and it is associated, blood sugar that is, elevated blood sugar, and insulin are associated with almost all health challenges, certainly all chronic degenerative health challenges. However, when sugar is complexed, when it's made into long chains, it becomes a very valuable substance. Fiber, in both its soluble form and insoluble form, is large chains or long chains of sugar. And if you're going to go ketogenic, you want to utilize these long chains of sugar. These, in addition to fiber is truly a critical long chain of sugar. It's made up of little pieces of sugar. But there's lots of these little pieces of sugar chains, if you will, that have health benefits. Fiber is made up, like all polysaccharides, fiber is made up of little pieces of sugar. Polysaccharides means long chains of sugar. And there's 8 of these building blocks. There's 8 of these building block components. They're called essential sugars or glyconutrients. They're said to be essential. I'm not sure necessarily if that's an accurate definition, but they're said to be essential. They're building blocks, as I say, for long sugar chains, for polysaccharides, as well as fiber, and they are critical when it comes to health. These long chains of sugar, these polysaccharides, sit on top of cells, many of our cells. They sit on top of the membrane of many of these cells, and they form a sugar mask. That's what that's called, a sugar mask, or a glycocalyx. That means sugar mask in Latin, and they play a critical role when it comes to health, especially in terms of bacterial infections. Bacteria depend on this sugar mask to be able to attach themselves to various parts of our body. In the past, we've talked about sliming away these bacteria. These bacteria stick to various parts of our body via their sugar mask, and you can slime them away. You can dissolve that connection between the bacterial sugar mask and the various components, the various proteins in our body, and this can have a beneficial effect for things like urinary tract infections or H. pylori infections. We haven't really talked too much about H. pylori, but that is a real bad guy bacteria. Although it is functional, it's not only a bad guy, but it can be a bad guy, and it's associated with stomach ulcers, intestinal ulcers as well. And you can slime away H. pylori bacteria. You can slime away E. coli bacteria if you're dealing with a urinary tract infection by using these gummy sugars that are found in aloe vera and found in noni, found in cartilage-containing products. A lot of the benefits of bone soup has to do with the slime, has to do with the gooey substances. These gooey substances have antibacterial properties, and it's the result of their polysaccharide qualities, their long chains of sugar. Algae also have a slimy quality. Anytime you add water to a substance and you see slime or goo or mucilaginous material, whether it's herbs or algae or noni, you're dealing with these long chains of sugar. And these gooey, slimy components have a lot of health benefits, especially when it comes to healing, especially when it comes to healing leaky gut syndrome. And you know, if you've listened to this show, that leaky gut is behind autoimmunity. So if you're dealing with any autoimmune issues, using these sugars, using noni and using aloe and using cartilage can have tremendous benefits, especially when it comes to, as we'll talk to Abby Lay here in a little bit, especially when it comes to dermatitis and eczema and psoriasis. If you're dealing with any autoimmune disease, if you're dealing with any skin condition, autoimmune or otherwise, using slimy substances found in aloe, noni, algae, cartilage can all have a really powerful healing benefit. One of the most important of these slimy substances is NAG, N-A-G, N-acetylglucosamine. And it plays a very important role in healing and soothing infections as well as broken tissue in the body. It has a calming effect on irritation. It has a healing effect on broken tissue, whether that irritation or broken tissue is inside the body, as in the digestive tract, or outside the body, as in the skin. And it's this nag that in large part is responsible for the very, very valuable anti-burn qualities of aloe vera gel, as well as noni, as well as cartilage, as well as algae. And we'll continue when we come back from our break. 844-236-6010 is our number. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. We'll be back right after this. We're back on The Bright Side. I am Pharmacist Ben. Thank you for joining us. We're on the air Monday through Friday, 8 to 9 Pacific and 10 to 11 Central Time, 24/7 on our archive pages at brightsideben.com, brightsideben.com, or pharmacistben.com, or benfuchsarchives.com. You can also purchase products off our websites, and also criticalhealthnews.com. You can purchase products off criticalhealthnews.com. You can also sign up to join the Bright Side Ben team. Join me in my mission to educate the world about how powerful and important a good nutritional supplement program can be. I am on a mission, folks. As you know, I am not going to stop. I'm not going to stop telling folks. I'm not going to stop screaming from every rooftop I could find how powerful and important a good nutritional supplement program can be, how we don't need to be fixed by the medical model if we're dealing with a long-term chronic degenerative disease, how there's nothing the medical model can do anyway if we're dealing with a chronic long-term degenerative disease. All disease is cell disease, and the doctor has no business in the cell. In fact, the doctor can't do anything about the cell. All the cell needs is food, nutrition, oxygen, and a clean place to do its business. That's all it needs. Nutrition, oxygen, and a clean place to do its business. There's nothing the doctor can do to treat a cell. All disease is cell disease. Hence, there is nothing a doctor can do for a long-term chronic degenerative disease. All medicine can do at the level of a cell is kill a cell, extract a cell, or radiate a cell. That's it. And only God knows how that ever became healthcare protocol: killing, extracting, surgically removing, and radiating. On the other hand, by using a good nutritional supplement program, making sure you're eating correctly, making sure you're eliminating toxicity, especially sugar toxicity, and oxygenating correctly, the cell can be provided with everything it needs to do its business. And that's what this is all about. That's what we're all about at The Bright Side, and that's what we're all about at Longevity. If you're interested in helping spread the word, please call 844-236-6010 and sign up to join the Bright Side Ben team for a one-time $25 fee. You can make yourself some money, earn some thank you checks, and help change lives. 844-236-6010 is the phone number for the Bright Side Ben team. You can also sign up off our websites, criticalhealthnews.com, pharmacistben.com, and brightsideben.com. Okay, 844-236-6010 is our number, and we don't have any calls, so I got some good stories here. I want to finish up a little bit, actually, talking about NAG, N-acetylglucosamine, not NAC, NAG. And then at the bottom of the hour, here in our next segment, we're going to talk to Abby Lay from PrimePhysiqueNutrition.com about how she cured herself of eczema and about her protocol for dealing with eczema, as well as other healthcare challenges using nutrition. That'll be coming up here in a little bit at the bottom of the hour. All right, so a couple more things about NAG and acetylglucosamine. If you're dealing with broken skin inside your body or outside your body, NAG supplements, and you can buy them cheaply off the internet. You can also get NAG in aloe vera, noni, as well as cartilage. You can find NAG in our bone broth protein as well. The beauty protein formulated by Jordan Rubin. BrightSideHealth.com is where you can find that, bone broth protein. And as we said yesterday, NAG can also have some skin health benefits if you're interested in anti-aging the skin. Not just soothing the skin and not just healing the skin, but also anti-aging the skin. NAG has some anti-aging properties when applied topically, and it can be used as a substitute for glycolic acid, alpha hydroxy acids, and beta hydroxy acids, which are really important for helping anti-age the skin. The only knock on AHAs and BHAs, glycolic acid, lactic acid, salicylic acid, the only knock on these substances, which are truly, truly miracle anti-aging materials, the only knock on them is the fact that they can be irritating and sensitizing. And in order to get the effectiveness, you got to get a little irritation. You got to get a little stimulation. And some folks who have really, really sensitive skin can't use these ingredients. Thus, there are a lot of people who don't want to use glycolic acid or lactic acid or salicylic acid, and they'll object to using these things, and that's unfortunate because they're so wonderfully anti-aging. And this is where we come to polyhydroxy acids like NAG. The fact that NAG is a long chain, not a little tiny molecule, means it has a less of a stimulating effect. It tends to sit more on the surface of the skin rather than penetrating, and that gives it a little bit more of a milder quality than ordinary AHAs and BHAs. It'll still have a lot of the same benefits. It'll still turn on the production of collagen. It'll still turn on the production of moisturizing factors. It'll even have a little bit of exfoliating properties. It will lighten dark spots. We're going to talk about that on Monday on our next Bright Side episode, because that's really interesting, how you can use NAG for hyperpigmentation. It will even out blotchy skin. It can attract water, so it can soften and hydrate the skin surface. But because it's a larger molecule, you won't have to deal with the irritation. You won't have to deal with the sensitization that you'll get with glycolic acid and lactic acid. That means if you're one of those folks that can't use glycolic acid or lactic acid or salicylic acid, you should probably consider using NAG topically at least once or twice a week. And we'll talk to you about how you can do that here, probably on Monday. Or maybe later today, or probably on Monday, we'll get to some DIY, do-it-yourself NAG products that you can make right in the comfort of your own kitchen. N-acetylglucosamine, the benefits that N-acetylglucosamine has for the skin also mimic the benefits it has for the digestive tract. NAG is a really, really important way to heal leaky gut syndrome, and those same benefits work on the skin. The skin is the digestive system inside out. And in my experience, I've yet to see somebody who has a skin health challenge that doesn't also have a digestive condition. If you got a skin health challenge, you can pretty much assume you have a digestive condition. The cells of the skin are called epithelial cells, and the cells that line the surface of the digestive tract are likewise epithelial cells. Epithelia is a type of tissue. You have four tissues, four things, stuff. Tissue is just stuff. Tissue sounds like it's all complicated and biological, biology and chemistry. It's kind of an overwhelming word, tissue, so just call it stuff. You got four types of tissue, or four types of stuff that make up the body. There's the connective tissue, which we talked about yesterday, and certainly glucosamine and N-acetylglucosamine are important for connective tissue. But there's also epithelial tissue. That's the surface tissue. The surface tissue is the stuff that lines surfaces inside the body and outside the body, and it turns out that NAG can also promote the healing of epithelial tissue if you have wounds, whether those wounds are in the surface of the skin or whether they're inside the body. And this makes NAG important for helping heal broken skin. It also helps makes NAG important for burns. NAG is a wonderful way to soothe the skin if you've got irritation or burns, for shaving cuts or for shaving irritation. I keep some aloe vera plant near my bathroom, and when I have shaving irritation, I just break open an aloe vera leaf, let it sit and react with the oxygen a little bit. You always want the inside of your aloe vera plant to react with oxygen just a little bit, and then apply it right off the leaf, right on your skin. And the NAG content of the aloe vera is unbelievably healing and soothing. It's also sun protective, and it can help reduce the damage to the skin that's caused by ultraviolet radiation from the sun. This is pretty amazing stuff, you guys. NAG. It's found in cartilage products, as I say. Our bone broth protein has some in it, and of course, you'll find it in aloe vera as well as noni and seaweed. I love aloe vera. And aloe juice, by the way, is a wonderful internal supplement, just drinking aloe juice if you're dealing with any intestinal permeability or digestive health issues. All right, we'll take a break, come back with Abby Lay from Prime Physique Nutrition and talk a little bit about eczema. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side on the Genesis Communication Network. Okay, we are back on The Bright Side. Thank you for joining us. We're on the air Monday through Friday, 8 to 9 Pacific and 10 to 11 Central Time, and 24/7 on our archive pages at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, and criticalhealthnews.com. You can also purchase longevity products off the websites. And if you're interested in checking out and purchasing our Truth Skin Health products, truthtreatments.com, truthtreatments.com. We got a blog up as well as our Truth Skin Health products, Truth Retinol 5% Gel, Truth Omega-6 Healing Cream, Truth Balm, as well as Truth Serum. All right. so we'll continue talking about N-acetylglucosamine for skin health, for the health of the digestive tract, and also for autoimmune diseases on Monday. And we'll also talk DIY, do it yourself, how you can make your own NAG products on our next Brightside episode on Monday. I want to switch gears a little bit and talk some eczema. Our guest, Abby Lay, has a website, Prime Physique Nutrition, Natural Eczema Remedies. She's a holistic nutritionist, and she blogs about natural cures for eczema. She herself has cured herself of severe eczema, and I am very excited to talk to Abby Lay today. Please welcome Abby to the Bright Side. Good morning, Abby. How you doing?
I am doing great. Thanks for having me.
Very nice to talk to you. I have to tell you, I was very impressed by your website, and you're so young, and it's awesome that you're motivating to help change lives and tell people your story and teach people how they can leverage some of your ideas, how you healed yourself of eczema. So tell us real quickly about yourself, and then I want to talk to you about your eczema and what exactly you did to turn the condition around. Tell us a little bit about yourself first.
Sure. So I'm a holistic nutritionist, as you mentioned, but I only became a nutritionist once I had really severe eczema, and I discovered that nothing really worked. But then once I changed my diet,
what were you using before you get into that?
Abby,
before you get into that, what did you use? What had you been using that didn't work?
I had been on steroids for years and years. Because I suffered from really bad eczema for over a decade, I was on oral steroids, topical steroids, and also regular creams, like mainstream creams that had a lot of harsh chemicals in them.
Now, they gave you prednisone for your eczema?
Pardon?
Did they give you prednisone for the eczema?
Yeah, they gave me a lot of different things that I tried.
And any side effects or toxicities that you noticed?
Yeah, so I actually developed stretch marks in the inner thighs of my legs.
Wow.
And thinning of the skin.
Wow. How long were you on these?
Discoloration.
How long were you on the steroids?
A couple years.
All right. And so what made you try alternatives?
It wasn't until I realized that steroids weren't helping, and even their creams that they gave me weren't helping. And someone suggested that I try and change my diet. Mm-hmm. And I actually thought that was kind of absurd at first because I didn't think that diet would help at all.
Well, hang on. I want to. Abby, hang on just a second. I want to address that. That's a really important point.
Sure.
So when they told you it was food related or diet related, the first thing that came into your head is that's ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
That's so important, Abby, because that's a very common reaction when people are told that there's a diet component, there's a digestive component to their skin health issues. The first thing people think about, that's ridiculous a lot of times. So you continue. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but that's a really interesting point. So continue, Abby.
Yeah, so someone suggested that I change my diet, and I found it a bit crazy, but then I was willing to try it because I had tried everything that I thought possible, and diet was one of the last things on my list, but I was willing to, and then I went on a really strict elimination diet for a couple of weeks, and being on that diet for 2 months cleared my skin up way more than years of being on steroids and medication did.
That's awesome. Now, what was your feeling about the medical model and the paradigm that tells people that they got to use steroids after you noticed that it was just some dietary changes you made, you had way better results than anything a doctor ever gave you? Did it make you angry? Did it make you want to tell people? What was your reaction after that? Yeah,
it made me angry, and it also made me kind of lose faith in the medical system. It just made me feel like...
That's a good thing, by the way.
It made me feel like what they were giving me wasn't working. I had been listening to them for years and years.
That's a very good conclusion for you to make at such a young age. Many people don't make that conclusion until it's too late. that the medical model doesn't have a lot of tools for dealing with these kinds of health challenges, but it doesn't matter because you can do it yourself. So what did you find for foods as far as elimination diet? What were some triggers, and what foods did you eliminate?
So I definitely, I definitely get triggered by some of the common allergens like dairy, wheat, sugar, but also like food additives like MSG. Yeah, and if I eat too much sugar, even if it's in the form of fruit sometimes, like I can still react.
No kidding.
But
How
adding
about
a lot
bread?
of anti-inflammatory foods helps me a lot.
Such as?
Definitely a lot of greens, a lot of vegetables. I started juicing and making smoothies on a daily basis, so I think that helped a lot too.
What do you mean by?
I cut out.
What do you mean by smoothies? What are smoothies?
So by smoothies, I mean just blending different vegetables and fruit, like for example, spinach, berries, kale, anything green and anything green that goes in, which can help with bring down the inflammation.
Do you have a favorite recipe, a favorite smoothie recipe for somebody dealing with eczema?
You know, one thing I really love is just blending avocados, banana, cacao powder, and ice, and it makes a really good, like a chocolate mousse sort of thing.
Say it again. Avocado,
Yes.
cacao powder. What were the other two? Did you say
banana?
Banana.
And then sometimes I hide in like some spinach in there, which you can't really taste.
Very interesting. So it makes like a nice little creamy mousse. I can see that.
It's delicious.
Yeah. Very interesting. Did you notice anything with fats or fatty vitamins or fat metabolism? That you had any problem with that when as far as breaking out with your eczema?
Yeah, so actually I do. Like one of my biggest issues is actually fat metabolism. And one way I discovered that was also through my naturopath who did muscle testing on me. And I would always show up weak with fatty metabolism. And even sometimes if I take like fermented cod liver oil and if I ingest a lot of fats, like I'll still react.
Interesting. Now, do you use digestive enzymes? Any fatty enzymes or anything like that?
Yeah, I do. I use that and I use HCl as well.
Do you use apple cider vinegar?
I do sometimes.
And now you say HCl drops. Is that what you mean that you got from a doctor or a pharmacist?
HCl capsules.
HCl capsules. Pepsin HCl?
I believe that it should be, yeah.
Pepsin HCl. All right, got a few more things I want to ask you, and then we'll talk about your website a little bit as well, Abby. So hang on, we got one more segment. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side on the Genesis Communication Network. We're talking to Abby Lay at primephysiquenutrition.com. Primephysiquenutrition.com. We'll be back right after this. Okay, we are back on The Bright Side. Pharmacist Ben here. We're talking to Abby Lay from Prime Physique Nutrition about eczema. Before we went to break, Abby, you were talking about fats and fat metabolism. Did you notice you had any issues with your reproductive cycle at all? Were you missing periods? Were you crampy, bloaty, anything like that?
I was okay with my reproductive cycle, but when I went on the elimination diet, I did lose a lot of weight, and then my period stopped for about 2 months.
After the elimination diet?
Yeah, I think it's because I wasn't getting enough calories in, especially with the big diet change.
Interesting. Okay. Now, before we went to break, we were talking about the relationship between fats and eczema. Did you use fatty vitamins at all? Vitamins A and D specifically?
I used vitamin D, and then I didn't use vitamin A specifically.
Did you Did you leverage the sun at all? Did you go out in the sun and get some sun nutrition?
Yes, I did. And I also, I did regularly take omega-3 fatty acids as well.
And how long did it take for the eczema to go away?
It took about 2 months to see significant difference. And then after that, it took about another year probably for the last 10 to 20% to clear up.
Did you have a really bad case, would you say?
Yeah, it was incredibly severe, and even the natural practitioners that I saw said that mine was one of the worst that they had ever seen.
Wow. So you would say that you completely cured yourself of severe, serious eczema using these strategies?
I think that it's still something that I have to manage, mainly because it is one of the weak points in my body.
Do you ever fall off the wagon?
That I still have to work towards.
Do you ever fall off the wagon and eat foods that you know are going to cause a problem?
Yeah, I do.
Is there anything you could do, say, and this is also for our listeners who understand, but sometimes, you just get a moment of weakness. Is there anything you could do once you indulge in something that you know is going to cause a breakout? Is there anything you could do to mitigate or prevent or mitigate the likelihood of getting a breakout?
Yeah, so there's definitely things that you can take, like activated charcoal.
Mm-hmm.
It really helps to draw out the toxins and helps to reduce inflammation. Or sometimes you can balance it out by taking in more greens. I know for me, sometimes I'll try and drink extra green juices just to help balance out and reduce the inflammation.
Very nice. So if you go to a party and there's something there that you ate, that you know you shouldn't eat, but you eat anyway, come home and do a couple activated charcoal capsules.
Yeah.
How about bentonite clay? Have you ever tried that?
Yes, I've tried that as well, and that is helpful as well.
Nice. All right, now you have a book, an ebook that you're selling on your website, right? Healing Eczema. And I love the subtitle,
Yeah.
Why Dieting is Not Enough. Why is dieting not enough?
Well, for me, I feel like even though food is a big part of it, there's a lot of parts to eczema, and for some people, when they change their diet, they do find that their skin doesn't get better. And in this ebook, I actually talk about different reasons why this might be happening.
In other words, why making dietary changes is still not improving their condition?
Yeah.
Can
Exactly.
you give us one or two?
Sure. As you mentioned, it's possible that even though people have changed their diet, there still might be deficiencies such as fatty acids, fat metabolism issues. They could be having deficiencies in omega-3, which is something that really helps to heal the skin and reduce inflammation. Another reason could be that something's out of balance in their body still. So, for example, overgrowth of candida, or perhaps even leaky gut and imbalance of good and bad bacteria inside of their gut.
That's awesome. Do you talk about probiotic bacteria, supplements?
Yes, definitely.
What do you like? What kind of probiotics do you like? Do you have anything you like in particular?
Yeah, so for me, there is a professional line that I like to use, and it's by Soroil and Genestra. It's the HMS Forte.
And how many billion units do you suggest people use daily?
At least over 10 billion units. But if you're suffering from severe eczema, some people will need even more than that.
How about things like prebiotics, like fiber? You ever work with that?
I do, but I also find that some people react to it if there's prebiotics.
React to what in particular? To fiber?
I think it's, or the FOS sometimes.
FOS, I see what you're saying. Yes, the sugars, in other words, FOS, fructooligosaccharides. Yeah, so it'll feed the bad bacteria, essentially? Like people get gassy and bloaty?
Mm-hmm, and some people's gut can't handle it.
Okay, now how about, I'm like you. I say it's an internal condition, and I work with diet and supplements all the time. So I commend you for that, and I agree with you on everything you said. How about, there's some folks that still want to use topical stuff. What do you suggest for topical? And what is the relationship that you found between dry skin and eczema?
Dry skin and eczema, there's definitely a huge link. I think you've mentioned in one of your shows before as well that there's issues with the skin cells and renewing itself, especially in eczema. Like a regular skin cycle is usually around 1 month turnover, but for people with eczema, it's different, and we're more prone to dry skin. And for me, I definitely like using products that are more natural. I use a lot of products in the past that contain too many chemicals and
you got to try our Truth. That's why you're using our Truth products. I totally agree with you. We're on the same page. You don't want to put a lot of different chemicals and a lot of different ingredients on your skin. That's absolutely right on. So that's why I developed
and
my
I love
Truth
what
products.
you've created because it just has great ingredients in it as well.
Thank you. That means a lot to me. You know what you're talking about there, Abby, so I appreciate that. All right, so real quickly, somebody's got eczema. What do you want to tell them? I got about 2 or 3 minutes now. What do you want them to know? If somebody's dealing with eczema, it's, as you have experienced personally, it can be a really, really psychologically debilitating and miserable condition. What do you want folks to know?
Yeah, so one of the first things to look at is examine your diet and basically start removing foods that are trigger foods or either foods that might be harming your body. So, for example, things like sugar, if you're sensitive to wheat, junk food. Remove those and start adding more anti-inflammatory foods to bring down inflammation, like more greens, healthy fruits, and just all around foods that will help heal your body instead. And then I'd also include good supplements in it, and then remove products with harsh chemicals and start including ones that are natural and good for you.
Any take on preservatives, by the way? As topical skincare product preservatives?
I do prefer the natural preservatives over the harsh chemical ones.
And what's your take on sodium lauryl sulfate, by the way?
I know it can definitely be an irritant to a lot of people.
All right, so your website, primephysiquenutrition.com, and the book Healing Eczema, how can they get it?
They can go on my website and they can purchase the ebook there. And I also have 2 other ebooks where I talk about my personal healing treatment plan, what I did to help my eczema improve, and also mindset and lifestyle and how that can help you as well.
And you have a picture on your website of somebody's foot before and after. Is that yours?
Yeah, that's mine.
Oh my goodness, Abby, that was was that a chronic condition? Did you always have? I mean, it never went away. Or is that a flare up on that before?
That one is a flare up, a really, really bad flare up where my legs looked like it was burned.
Yeah, it does. It looks like a burn. That's exactly right. Wow, Abby, that is really amazing. And that after picture is just from dietary strategies?
Yeah, dietary and also supplement changes.
That is absolutely amazing. Anybody out there dealing with eczema, you want to check this out. primephysiquenutrition.com. primephysiquenutrition.com. Hey, Abby, thanks so much. And I'll be in touch with you as well about the truth. I really appreciate you coming on. And I'm on your show, too, next week, right?
Yes, you are.
All right,
Thank you for having me.
What is your show? Tell the listeners about your podcast real quick.
Sure. So I have a podcast dedicated to eczema. It's called the Eczema Podcast, and you can listen to the audio version on my site, or you can watch the video version on YouTube as well.
Thanks so much, Abby. Have a beautiful day. Good to talk to you. All right, that was Abby Lay, Prime Physique Nutrition. Thanks for listening to The Bright Side. On Monday, we'll continue talking about NAG. Please check out our websites, truthskinhealth.com and criticalhealthnews.com and pharmacistben.com. I am Pharmacist Ben. Have an awesome, wonderful, beautiful day. We'll talk to you all later, folks. Bye for now.